On June 13, 1994, in the city of San Antonio in the state of Texas, the Parkley family called the police and told them that their son Nicholas was missing, and the investigations immediately began. The police knew that the last place Nicholas was found was the secret playground with his friends, and that he was supposed to return home with his brother Jason, and they remembered this name well. Jason said that for some reason, Nicholas told him to go and I will follow you home after a while, but after that he completely disappeared. The police continued the search for several months, but the young man died and no one saw him again. Everyone thought he died until 3 years after his disappearance. In 1997, the police contacted the Parkley family and told them that their son Nicholas was alive and was now in Spain, but he partially lost his memory. "We want one of you to travel there and meet him." The next day, his sister traveled to meet him and make sure he was her brother or not, and when she saw him, she swore that he was her brother. They returned from there, and the family welcomed their lost son with the best welcome, and everyone was convinced that this was Nicholas and things were not going well. But the tragedy and surprise, which no one expected, was that the one with them in the house now was not their son Nicholas, and not an ordinary criminal, but a colored warrior who had been in Europe for years, and the international Interpol had been following him for years. I will tell you the story of a criminal who was able to kill 500 people in his life and laugh at 2 whole continents. Frederick Borden, or as they call him, the Colored Warrior. Frederick was born in 1974. He was born in a small village called Nanterre in the suburbs of Paris. He lived with his mother for the first 3 years of his life, but his mother did not know anything about honor. She was always busy with his illegal relations. To the extent that she did not know who his father was to Frederick. She gave him to his father and mother to raise him with them. That is, Frederick was raised by his grandfather and grandmother. Their life was not much better, but at least there was someone to take care of him. He lived with them until he was 15 years old, and at that age he discovered his strange talent. When he was 15 years old, he used to tell everyone that his father was a British intelligence agent and that his mother died in a car accident. That's why he lived in his grandfather's house. What is special about Frederick is that he did not only lie, he believed the lie and lived it. To the extent that those around him believed him. When he was 16 years old, Frederick entered the Events prison in the Mucham area, where he lived with his grandfather and grandmother. Because he was involved in the work of theft and robbery. But instead of repenting in prison, he developed more with him. And he began to practice new things and skills that made him a great actor. In prison, he was crazy about them. Every day or two, he would fall to the ground, and he would crumple, and he would claim that he was injured in a car accident. And he would faint. And as soon as he opened his eyes, he would say to those around him, "Who am I? Where am I?" And he pretended to have lost his memory. And after a few days, glory be to God, his memory returned to him. Even sometimes he pretended to be crazy. And the strange thing is that all the things he did, everyone believed him. Everyone believed him to the extent that they would take him to the hospital to deal with him that he was really crazy, or lost his memory, or injured in a car accident. Even the doctors there could not expose him. All he wanted was to go to the hospital to be able to escape. And indeed, he ran away. But, oh joy, he did not die. Because after he ran away, he went to Paris. And there he thought that the only solution to live a noble life was to move to Britain. So he remained calm, as if he had not done anything. He went to the police station in Paris and told them, "My name is Jimmy Seal, a British young man who fell here. And I wish you would help me to go back to my parents' house." But as soon as the police started talking to him in English, Fred was silent, and his voice did not come out. Because he did not know how to speak a word of English. And then they discovered the lie, and he was arrested. And they knew his real identity, and they returned him to prison. But this time, they put him in prison in Paris.